Hello all, welcome to i-tutor Academy. In today's session we will start with the unit 12 of Mmpc 008, that is database resource management. So structure of this unit are: there is an introduction, objectives, data as organizational resource, organizing data, database management system and its components, data modeling, attributes in table, developments in database technology, database administrator and the role, database and data warehousing, summary, and unit and exercises are there. So let's begin with the introduction part. Every organization today uses respective database for their business. An educational institution uses a database to maintain students' records. Libraries use a database system to keep track of circulation of reading material and to provide various types of indexing to material by subject, author, title, etc. And a bank uses database system to keep records of its customers, employees, daily transactions to and from various accounts, loans, etc. and many more. And similarly, it happens in production houses, warehouse, health, R&D, etc. for respective business. Integrated application software and worldwide web, that is www, with internet have made it more adaptive and simpler in maintaining database. And business houses normally use a database to keep records of employees, sales, production, etc., also connecting their branches across globe. All those who keep a collection of records for a common purpose uses a database. In order to build and use a database, a software management system which is known as database management system is used for developing the corresponding application software for the purpose. ERP, CRM, SCM, etc. are the integrated applications readily available which need only customization to suit the business requirement of the organization willing to use them. In such a case, application software is not required to be developed, and as such, DBMS is collection of software programs which allows developing application software for creation, storage, modification and manipulation of data from a database. And application software is a layer of software between the physical database stored in computers and the users. DBMS is layer between application software and the operating system running on computers. Objectives are: after reading this unit you should be able to describe the concept of a database management system and describe the importance of data in organization, explain the role of database administrator, that is DBA, and identify the factors responsible for the success of data warehousing. So these are the objectives of this unit, and let's begin with the subsection 3 of unit 12, that is data as organizational resource. So before the computer came into existence, there were many limitations associated with the physical handling of documents and human processing, and computers came into existence to speed up the data processing. Computers help to manage data. We are living in the age of information technology. The ability to acquire and accurate and timely data, managing data efficiently is all through which an organization succeeds. The development is hardware has catalyzed rapid development in software, and now we are having more sophisticated software to handle and maintain data. And the term data and information are often taken as to mean the same thing, and data are the detail about factories, outlets, staff, competitors, customers and suppliers. Data is also kept for monitoring the activities and process in business. Once business collect these details, information comes into picture, and information is the collection of meaningful facts that are derived from the data. And information is significant and relevant to the user, unlike data which has no meaning alone, and information leads to decision and thus an appropriate action. So the data must be accurate, timely and relevant. So it is desired that any information system should have accurate data to work on, and inaccurate data howsoever will analyzed will hardly be useful for any decision making. And although the collection of accurate data is costly and time consuming, every effort should be made to make it as accurate as possible. So the information technology helps to maintain data very easily. And organizing data, in earlier time the data processing was done manually, so organization used to appoint a large number of people called clerks. The information technology device used at that time were forms and ledger books, basic mechanical and adding machines. The result of such a manual operation were obtained at time when the information was almost out of date. Then some system were invented in which processing was mostly mechanized. Example, the Hollerith tabulation system. In such a system, data was recorded in the binary form of holes in cards and using a card punch. So this stack of cards could be sorted and tabulated, and like that. So after that, so the things have changed considerably with the advent of computer. So there are a few terms put up below, so that you need to know about the data organization, although they are not new these days in the era of IT, as they are the basics in data organization. Hence they are put here for maintaining the continuity and better understanding. Bit, a bit short for binary digit, is the smallest unit of data in a computer. A bit has a single binary value, either 0 or 1. Although computers usually provide instructions that can test and manipulate bits, they generally are designed to store data and execute instructions in bit multiple called bytes. BYTE, bytes. In the most computer system, a byte is a unit of data that is 8 binary digit long, and a byte is the unit most computer use to represent a character such as letter, number, or typographic symbols. So here is example is here, G, that is 5, or the question mark is the symbols. A byte can also hold a string of bits that need to be used in some larger unit for application purpose. Field, a field is an area in fixed or non-location in a unit of data such as record, message, header, or computer instruction that has a purpose and usually a fixed size. And in some context, a field can be subdivided into smaller fields. In the database table, a field is a data structure for a single piece of data. Piece of data, and fields are organized into records which contain all the information within the table relevant to a specific entity. And for example, in a table called customer contact information, telephone number would likely be a field in a row that would also contain other fields such as street address and city. The records make up the table rows and the field make up the columns. Record, in a database, a record, that is sometimes called a row in a table, is a group of fields within a table that are relevant to a specific entity. And for example, in the table called customer contact, a row would likely contain fields such as customer ID number, customer name, street address, city, and telephone number, mobile number, email address, and so on. And file is there in a data processing. Using an office metaphor, a file is a related collection of records. Okay, and database, a database is a collection of data that is organized so that it can easily be accessed, managed, and updated. In one view, the database can be classified according to type of content: bibliographic, full text, numeric, images, audio, video, as so on. And in relation to database, an entity mean a person, place, or thing that we wish to collect information, and the word root is from the Latin ens, or being, and makes a distinction between a thing's existence and its qualities. An attribute is a characteristics of an entity, and in the application software developed using a database management system, that is DBMS, an attribute may describe a component of the database such as a table or a field, or may be used itself as another term for a field. So DBMS and its component. We have discussed earlier that an organization must have accurate and reliable data for effective decision making. For this, the organization maintains records by combining the data from different sources in the organization, and DBMS is the tool required for managing the data in the database. In other words, DBMS is a complex piece of software that facilitates a flexible management of the data. Through DBMS, we can create, assess, monitor, and store and modify the database. Through DBMS, data can be made available to all users and redundant, and data can be minimized or completely eliminated. And DBMS also makes possible for an organization to prevent important data access from unauthorized users by providing the security to the database at different levels. And the DBMS allows users to access data from the database having no knowledge of how data is actually stored in it, and the process is much same as ordering a menu in the restaurant. Okay, component of DBMS, what are the components? First one is DML precompiler, that is data manipulation language precompiler. As its name specific, this is a compiler that converts DML statements that allows the users to manipulate the database in an application program into normal procedure calls in the host language. Next is DDL, that is DDL compiler, data definition language compiler. The DDL compiler convert the data definition statements that define the table, database, etc. into a set of tables. File manager manages the structure and the space of the file on disk storage. This also locates the block in which the required record exists and requests from the disk manager for this block containing the required record, and finally provides the required record to the data manager. Disk manager, as specified earlier, disk manager provides the block or page that the file manager asks for, and the disk manager is a part of operating system. Disk manager does all the physical input and output operations. Data manager or database manager, it is also called database control system. It is a software component of the DBMS, or we can say a program module that acts as an interface between the data stored in the database and the queries submitted to the system. Query processor, and the query processor takes care of the queries by the database user. The database user, when use the data manipulation language for retrieving the data, the query processor convert it into that form that could be sent to the data manager so that the data manager can execute it. Data dictionary contains the information or data about the data. In other words, it contains the metadata. A metadata dictionary includes all the database description, entity or table description, attributes, etc. And this more complexity leads to increase in cost, just like an index helps us to find the chapter easily. Data dictionary helps DBA for designing, implementing and maintaining the database and searching for the desired record in the database. It also helps the managers and the end users in the project planning. Okay, so this is about today's section. In between any doubts, you can contact us anytime. And for more MBA videos, you just do like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.
i-tutor Academy presents Ignou MBA complete syllabus coverage classes for individual students, semester-wise subject with online and flexible timing. For more details, contact on +916 238 21785.